All right. Hello, everybody. It's Anna Chaos back with another update for Captain Hobbes and the Astrocats. And I may be frank, I have been, even though I haven't been posting too much, I have been very busy testing, learning, and just kind of just becoming more acquainted with some of these AI tools. And I gotta tell you straight up, it is not as easy as people think it is. It is only easy if you have no concept and you're starting it from ground up and then just kind of moving from there. Um, but if you already have a concept, you have characters, you have all that stuff, and you're trying to get continuity, it has been a really big challenge. But anyway, so this is going to be Anna talking about AI tools part 2, and let me show you guys some of the progress that we have done. But before I do anything else, let's go ahead and just pretty much go to our usual, just check out our webpage. If you're not into just going directly to the webpage, we do have a Facebook, we do have a YouTube, and the YouTube is constantly growing. I just started launching Chaos Music because I've been playing with a couple AI tools. So I'm trying to learn how to do soundtracks and then also how to do also special effects or sound effects using some of these AI tools, so it tempers down on the cost of these productions. So that's pretty much what I've been doing on that. We're also on Fred's Instagram and on Blue Sky if you're on Blue Sky. But I'll be straight honest, most of my action comes from Facebook and YouTube. So I do check those more frequently because in the other two, not a lot of people are on there, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and pick up where I left off last time. So last time I went ahead, I generated this background using Adobe Firefly, and it looked okay. It was just enough to just kind of get this test going. As you can see, there's still a couple things in here that I do not like that look kind of quirky all over the place. And even this chair here, I had to modify. You can go to the previous video to see what I had to do. From there, I went ahead and I borrowed my character to just kind of get like a quick concept, just kind of see what it will look like. So I kind of stuck her in there, and now this time around, what I was trying to see is if I could use this background itself and then go ahead and do the main keyframes and then go from there. So per usual, I pretty much started with a rough sketch. And then I added the color and just some basic line. I'm not doing anything too crazy. And I did this for panel 1, panel 2, and then panel 3 of her just kind of looking at this content on here. Now, the idea was, based on what I've been seeing in for all these what's called type to video or frame to frame or whatever. There's like different options for this. And it's that what you do is you have keyframe 1, keyframe 2, and it animates it in between. So I'm thinking, okay, I do keyframe 1, keyframe 2, not too bad, and it should be able to move. Well, yeah, that wasn't the case. So let me see if I can play the first one. So this was the first, actually, this is the second attempt. Let me see if I can get the first attempt. Okay, so this was the first attempt. So this was between the first frame and the second frame, and I didn't really add too much to the description because I wanted to see what it will do, just raw, just do it, just what it had to do. So as you can see, it's just doing crazy things in between frame 1 and frame 2. The monitor's kind of overlapping with the face, and it's doing all kinds of kooky stuff that I was not expecting. So there is a learning curve to this. It just doesn't happen magically, and it thinks it knows what you're doing. Just think of like you're talking to a rock that doesn't know anything, and then you have to detailedly tell it what to do with this content that you're providing. However, here's the big difference between the previous video and the current video. This is the closest I was able to get to keeping the character design consistent. So I am on the right path with the tools that I currently have. I still need to go into Flow to see if I can test it there, but I just kind of see how would this like work if I did it in Adobe Firefly. And so this was with me adding more description on here, and as you can see, she looks like she is high on catnip. I don't know how else to describe it. She's just kind of doing the blubbly booply and just doing things. I don't know what's going on with her face. Her eyeball gets big and small. It's like she's almost like she's underwater or she's high or I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But again, this is the closest I've been able to get it to maintain the style versus in the previous video. No matter what I did, I could not get the platform to maintain the style I was looking for. So there is that part. Okay, so I had to kind of pause for a moment because I need to reset this back up. So I just showed you guys the results that I got with Firefly, Adobe Firefly, and it was in the right direction, but it was not quite there yet. So the other thing that I want to test out is Gemini Flow, and they just came up with VO3. However, when I went to go and try to test this out, I had to go down to VO2 because I wanted to do is go to frame A, I literally gave it 2 frames, frame 1 and frame 2. This is all I gave it, just like I did previously before. So now you also got to keep in mind that when you're using this feature, it can only do, I believe it's up to 8 seconds. I need to go back and go through my notes, but I believe it's up to 8 seconds. And all that I gave it right here, here's my prompt. Animate the frames in between these 2 images, okay? So I'm going to play this and you guys can see what this looks like. I'm going to make it big screen. Look at the night and day difference between Adobe Firefly and VO. This right here is probably where some of my production is going to go, because this is fantastic and it saves me a lot of time, to be honest. So if I have a lot of the puppets done in Adobe Illustrator and I simply post them and provide the background to the software, this right here is very promising. Now, the only thing that I do not like is that when the character's blinking, she's got an eye patch and the character is blinking, but all in all, this is fantastic. This took me maybe an hour or 2 to just draw the main keyframes and then go ahead and export it in a format that works. And this right here did a lot of the work. Now note that I have not provided any audio for this, so this is a pretty fantastic result considering the fact that all I did is did keyframe 1, keyframe 2, and then it filled in the rest. So I cannot complain. So that is a really good result. Now the next thing that I want to do is try to test out where I provide I provide the 2 keyframes, and then I also provide the lip sync that goes with it, or the audio that goes in it. So that is going to be my next test. Okay, so here I'm back with another session, and as I show you guys, this is the previous version of this video right here. And it's pretty much just me. I just gave it anime frame between 1 and 2. Now, for this time around, here's what I did. I went ahead and I went back to my prompt, and I went ahead and I gave it more instructions. So I went back to the original prompt that I created. This is from when we were first testing the regular Gemini to just make us some videos. This was in Flow. So I went ahead and I grabbed a couple elements from here, which is the animation from the first frame and then some of her dialogue. And then I went ahead and I kind of scrunched it up in here. So right here I gave it two prompts. I gave it, here's the animation that I want you to do, and then here is also the dialogue that I want you to do. However, the one thing I can't seem to figure out is how to get it to generate the audio. So this is probably going to be another video that I will have to do, but I want to show you guys a significant improvement from the first one to the second one, but just simply enhancing that AI prompt. So I'm going to go over here. Okay, as I mentioned before, this operates in 8 seconds at a time. It's like 5 to 8 seconds. So let me show you guys. Let me make this full screen. Okay, this is with more detail. Now note, I said nothing about a tail, and I want you to watch what the AI does here. There is a tail there. I didn't draw that tail. I didn't add the tail. She doesn't have a tail. So I thought that was extremely interesting that it went ahead and added that. Now, I still need to tell it not to blink on the right eye, because obviously that is an eye patch, but that is extremely impressive, if I may be frank. I did not provide a picture of her tail. I just provided a description of her reaction and what the dialogue would be. And, here's some basic animation on there. So I gotta say, I think this is, if I can figure out how to time the lip sync, which I'm probably going to start using 11 Labs, and then try to upload the audio so it matches the audio, because there is a way to do it. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. But I just kind of want to show you guys some of the improvements that I've been doing and some of the testing, because I'm kind of tackling how to come up with a production so I can do something fast. So right now what I have is use probably AI to quickly come up with the concepts for some of the backgrounds, but I'm still going to be involved in the process of making some of those backgrounds. Then for some of the, I still will have to do some of the keyframing once those backgrounds have been generated, and then I can run it through Flow to go ahead and start creating some of these cuts. And then I'm probably either going to have to use probably 11 Labs to create some of the audio so it stays continuous all the way through. But 11 Labs is something that I haven't gotten to quite yet because I've been playing with Sono. And this will pretty much going to come together, but I gotta tell you, this is quite impressive. And this is, by the way, this is VO2, it's not VO3, but this is absolutely fantastic. This is above what I was expecting, and it's on the right direction, which is the problem I was having the first time, where I couldn't keep the character consistent. But now that I know that I can do keyframes, fully colored keyframes, and run it to the machine, it's going to make it a lot easier. Now, am I cringing on the inside because I'm seeing fingers kind of moving around and then kind of doing this thing? Absolutely. But considering the fact that that right there, for me to animate, that would have taken me probably a week. Instead, I spent probably 30 minutes tweaking a prompt and then run it by with the reference image, which is what I originally wanted. I wanted to give it the reference points from A to B and have it animated and then go from there. And that is a huge time saver. That is an extremely huge time saver. So am I impressed with this? Absolutely. Am I going to keep refining this before I can come up with the final production line? Absolutely. So this is fantastic, and I'm super stoked. And then the eyes doesn't go crazy and all that stuff. So, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. But anyway, guys, let me know if you like this content. Please like and subscribe. I always appreciate your feedback, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.